In hindsight, 1997 was a pretty big year for me. A lot of things changed and shifted in my mind and behavior and attitude and outlook on life. I was in Hong Kong when it got handed back to China. I was deliberately there. I stopped watching news in 1997. I was introduced to Vipassana meditation and just meditation in general. I became a minimalist in 1997. And I have to say to you, before 1997, I was not a minimalist. I had a double closet full of a lot of clothes. I probably had 40 sweaters, 50 button-down Oxfords, 30, 40, 50 pairs of pants and jeans, 5 suits, 50, 60, 70 pairs of shoes. I mean, I had a lot of just clothes. But a lot changed in 1997. Part of it was I went, and I'd been backpacking many times, but I started to just really slim down my life. I wanted to slim down my life, and I wanted to look for what those vital things were. And I bring this up because almost all of you probably have subscriptions to Pick the Month newsletters that talk about and write great stories about companies in the US or overseas, or, and how you absolutely have to buy this company or your life won't work out. And I just think about this idea that what if there was nothing to write about? What if there was nothing to report on? Not ever, not forever, but what if there's really nothing to report on this week or, today? But what if you had an agreement with that person that you had to report to me, give me something to think about? And I kind of had that idea in 1997 that news was just like marketing and entertainment, and there was no value to it. And news wasn't news anymore. It was, noise. So with that, I just want to bring up this idea that sometimes there's nothing to talk about, and there's kind of a nothingness, but maybe there's a beauty in nothingness. And I thought of this picture as, maybe, of course, it's a stunning picture, but how you don't actually need much, even when there's beauty. And so I just want to point a couple things out, guys. Maybe I'll point out 3 things to you, and then I want to get to something I've wanted to talk about for a while. First of all, the US market, the all-world index, and the international developed market, which is usually called the EAFE, Europe, Australasia, and Far East. But basically, it's the developed world outside of Canada and the US. Those 4 markets, those 4 indices, have all hit lifetime highs, right? So they've never, ever been as high as they have been this week. And you could say, well, RC, isn't that news? I mean, it's news, but I kind of want to just talk about how, there doesn't always have to be news, but if there was going to be something to talk about this week, I could say, hey, look, the US market's doing great. The all-world index is broken out to new lifetime highs, and the developed international market is broken out to lifetime highs. I have no images, I have no pictures, because really what I want to do is talk about this one thing. And I want to talk about just the simple power of kind of the wisdom of hundreds of millions of people being brought together in a singular way, and to harness their intelligence and their brilliance and their insights and their losses and their gains collectively. And the place that I find that happening most, if anywhere, is in the stock market, right? That's why I talk about when the S&P 500 is going higher, the all-world index is going higher, or the developed international market is moving higher. Guys, that's what matters most, not profit margins or valuations. And I say this because valuations were high in 1996, and they got higher in 97, and they got higher in 98, and they got higher in 99. And you would not have wanted to miss 97 and 98 and 99, right? Because from a NASDAQ point of view, hundreds of percent were left going up. The point is price trumps all. So I wanted to show you this one price chart. And this is kind of a weird price chart, the way that the price is being demonstrated here. But this is intraday stock price movement following the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster when it exploded. And there were 4 main companies hired to build the shuttle. 4, not 40, not 404, but there were 4. And the space shuttle exploded right here. right? So right there was 11:40. It was either 11:39 or 11:40 a.m. right there. Okay, less than 59 minutes later, the world figured out of the four main manufacturers. Now, there's more than four and over 10,000 parts on the space shuttle, but the four main, okay, the market had figured out which company manufactured the part that failed. I mean, you got to understand, this is brilliant, right? Was it Lockheed? Was it Martin? Like, was it Rockwell? Like, which one was it? But the crowd knew. Those hundreds of millions of people started going, you know what? I mean, you can see this right here when they all start falling, but then they stopped falling except for one company. And I got to be honest, I'm not even sure how to pronounce it. Martin Thiokol. As you know, words, letters are not my thing. But guys, one of them ended down 12% for the day, and the other three only lost 3% for the day. And as they fell together, all four of them fell together, it became very clear very quickly within 20 minutes that they started moving, three of them started moving right back up, stabilized again, and ended just 3% down. But one of them ended down 12% down, and that was the one that manufactured the O-rings. Right? This is efficient. Looking at it this way, this is how the market is efficient in finding out who's working and who's not working. And there's also incredible flaws in this type of efficiency too, right? Take a company that falls down on its knees and, you know, is down 30, 40, 50%. Most of these companies don't go out of business, and then it gets back up and you have a huge potential gain. The thing I want to say to you and point out is, man, when you can understand the price charts and you can understand how these hundreds of millions of people work collectively to bring it down to a singular piece of information, it's very powerful. Should you not look at anything else? Probably, you know, there's probably some other things. The point is you can eliminate an incredible amount of noise and stress and overwhelm by knowing how to look at information. So what is the takeaway, guys? In the spirit of not having a lot to talk about, guys, there's no need to predict or predict or predict. You don't need to predict. Go with what's happening. And if you go with what's happening, your life gets better because you are, you know, what's the saying, bloom where you're planted. You go with what's happening. Predictions are very expensive, especially about the future. So guys, thank you for being in my world. This is just another step in helping you protect your portfolio and your future. Until next time, this is RC Peck.